Welcome everyone to Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo TV. I'm Steph Stricklen. Joining me now is John Lights Leenhouts, the man who needs no introduction. How are you today?
Spectacular, fabulous. You have no idea how wonderful it is to watch this exceptionally wild aviation experience come together, and I don't have to worry about a single thing.
Oh yeah, that you're in a sweet spot right now for sure. I had a moment yesterday where I was watching planes, sort of start beginning to join us on the field, and I had that happy feeling. And I imagine it's similar to you. But what I like about this right now is where we're sitting. Tell me a little bit about this studio that your hard work and dedication to the cause here for ACE and everybody else has really helped bring to fruition. Where are we right now?
Well, we're in a really good place. Quite candidly, this is exactly what we dreamt of for years and years and years. And I'll take it all the way back to 1975, when that first cadre of volunteers got together. They always dreamt and believed that someday they could put together an educational community, an ecosystem that would help today's youth find a way into the world of aviation through the sciences, right? Well, it took a long time. It's taken almost 5 decades, but we got there. And over the last 5 years, as you well know, we transitioned from not only just having the Sun and Fun fly-in experience, but we had the Aerospace Center for Excellence, which was created and now is the corporate headquarters. And in that, underneath that umbrella, we built the school. We built this huge building here we call the Dean Ramos Skylab Innovation Center, which is where all this great activity takes place, where you're learning the sciences through aerospace technology, which is great. But we're just this one little microcosm in the whole world. So here we sit with this gem, this core of great opportunity, and we can't share it with anybody. Well, how do you share it? Well, in today's world, you go live on TV. You go on the internet. How do you tell the story?
Yeah.
How do you share the knowledge of the sciences? What better way to do it than through a media lab? So not just touch a few hearts, touch millions of them. And so this was my idea, to bring the capabilities and the knowledge and the experiences that we have right here in the Aerospace Center for Excellence and put them on the screen and put them on a video and do it with students. Not folks like you and I. Nobody wants to hear an old guy talk. But if I've got a 17 or 18-year-old young man or woman who understands the sciences and can share STEM through aviation and do it in a 15-minute presentation, boom, it happens, and people are watching it. And then somebody out there who never thought that aviation could be part of their lives looks at that young man or woman telling a story about how a wing operates, how a propeller works, how an engine operates, how lift and gravity, drag, all that combines to put flight together. Wow. They go, I could do that. I want to do that. And all of a sudden you spike that fire, they ignite that excitement, and let them run with it. That's the one piece that we're really focusing on with the laboratory, with the media lab right now, is the engagement piece. Engage them. We may not be able to completely educate them, but we'll get them excited.
This is so perfect because when you talked about bringing in sort of youth, right, to help create and develop the message, this studio and the opportunity to mentor young talent, because I agree with you, a little long in the tooth, not so sure this is the thing I need to be doing. So let's figure out who's going to be here next, because aerospace and aviation offers many career paths. This is one of them. I'm living proof of that, right?
Absolutely.
This studio is wonderful. Tell me a little bit about the campaign to get it done, because I want folks to understand from inception, from your idea to execution, there was a lot that had to happen.
You know, it's really a methodical, well thought out process. You know, you don't just try to do everything all at once. So it took a while to convince the board that we had to have the Aerospace Center for Excellence, right? They were all about the fly-in. But when I got them to understand that people want to give to the future, not just to today. Party for pilots is cool. Spring break for pilots is neat. But the future's brighter, right? And we got to help make that happen. We got to give back. So once I convinced them that we had to have the Aerospace Center for Excellence, and we got it up and running, I said, folks, wouldn't you like to have our story told in a much broader base, a wider dissemination of information about what we do here? Because that will do two things. One, we're meeting our mission, which is to engage and educate and accelerate that next generation of aerospace professionals. But oh, by the way, we're actually touching potential donors out there that otherwise we would never be able to engage. Now they see what we're doing, and they want to be a part of it, and big companies want to put their name on it. This is the whole theme of why we do this, is to get more engagement, more involvement, both at the youth level and at the donor level. And so once they saw that, and I said we could do this through a media center, And they're like, I don't know how you're going to get the money for that. I said, you know, if you tell the story well enough, people will understand that this could be told better in a wider environment. And they got it. And so last year at the Bash, started raising hands. And the hands went up and the hands went up. And somewhere around that $160,000, $180,000 range we go, we got it. We're there. We can do a world-class media center laboratory. And this is it.
Well, and let me take a minute, too, for everyone who attends the Bash and to everyone who is a part of this experience and who is so generous with their funds and their time to help make the Aerospace Center for Excellence, as well as everything that we are doing here on the Sun and Fun campus, a reality. We definitely thank you. Now, I do have to switch to some fun stuff as well. Lights. How many traps do you have?
Traps.
Carrier traps. Think about this, folks. Landing on what looks like a postage stamp on a rough ocean. How many traps do you have?
Well, as the story goes, first of all, you have to understand that I'm not allowed to log those traps. It's only done by certified people that put it in your logbook, and it has to be checked and verified. It's very important. It's accuracy. But they tell me that I've got 1,645 carrier arrested landings, of which 425 of them were after the sun went down, and none of those were much fun at all.
Holy smokes. You know, we've got the Blue Angels flying here, and oftentimes when I talk to those pilots, the best of the best, they might have 400 carrier landings in total, and you have so many more. What airframes did you land on a carrier? That's so impressive. I don't even know how to tell you. That's crazy.
Well, I was very fortunate. I mean, I flew the T-2 Buckeye and the A-4 Skyhawk, and those were training airplanes. But when I got into the A-7, I flew it for about 1,000 carrier landings, 1,000 traps off many different ships. And then I was in the Tomcat as well, so I flew it for about 100 traps. And then about another 500 plus in the FNA-18 Hornet, the very end down there. And all of this was on 16 different carriers over a period of 27 years. And you got to understand, over that 27 years, I had 10 major deployments where we were out there for more than 3 months and sometimes as many as 9 months. And that was on every ocean on the planet, flying in all kinds of weather conditions, whether you like it or not, you're going, because that was the business back in the day during the Cold War years. And we had a lot of opportunity during that time frame in the 70s and 80s and early 90s where we had a lot of operating funding. And so it was quite common, at least for me in the 70s anyway, I'd fly 3 sorties a day off the carrier, which is unheard of today. You'd fly a day flight, a day and a night trap, and then a night cat shot and a night trap. So you're flying 3 times a day and do that a couple times a week. And then every other day was 2 times a day. So you're doing a lot of operations out there and a lot of, so I had over 9 years day for day, haze, gray, and underway.
I like that phrase. You know, let me just thank you for your service. Thanks for everything you did to protect our freedoms here in this country. And then let me just ask you finally, before we wrap things up, since you mentioned that you have taken a Tomcat on and off that carrier a good number of times, what's it like having one here that is painted and ready to go on the ramp? Tell me about that.
Oh, it's so thrilling. I was out there the other day and I went around a couple of folks that I know that had just flown in their P-51s, and one of them is a guy named Lou Horschel, and I said, hey, Lou, you know, you've been so nice in supporting Sun and Fun. He said, I'll take you for a ride in our refurbished Tomcat here. You get your suit up, we'll go this afternoon. And it looks like, and everybody goes, they never looked that nice. I said, guys, it really did. Back in the 70s, when those airplanes came out of the factory at Grumman up at Bethpage in Calverton, I said, those things looked exactly like this. They were shiny, painted up, gloss gray on the top, gloss white on the bottom. They were pristine. They smell new inside. They were so nice. We didn't get to those really grungy looking, dull, flat, gray painted airplanes till the late 80s, early 90s, about before Desert Storm. And then they all went just flat gray. But that looks a lot like the ones I flew back in the 70s. Matter of fact, that particular one was made 3 airplanes before one of the airplanes that I went in my logbook and looked, because they put the bureau number down, and the bureau number always stays. They'll change the side number. It could be 102, 108, it could be 214, whatever, but the bureau number on the side stays the same. And I flew an airplane that was made 3 after that one, but I never flew that one, unfortunately. I'd love to tell you, you'd never know, but that wouldn't be right.
It's such an incredible story. I'm so glad that it's here. I'm so glad you're here and continuing to further the mission of everything that we're trying to do. Lights, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Steph, thank you so much for telling our story, asking great questions, and helping us spread the wealth of knowledge around the planet.
You make it so easy. Everyone, thank you so much for watching Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo TV.